Shop RMG Designs with hundreds of products to choose from. There's sure to be something for your specific needs. Click on the link in the description to start shopping.
Hello and welcome to Spirit Talk with the Word Master. In studio with me is Jason Williams, back for part 2 of our interview from last time, religion, rules, and relationships. So in part 1 we went down deep, but in this part we're going to go even deeper. There might be some things that you hear that you may not necessarily agree with, but that's what conversation is all about. Please leave a comment and let us know what you agree with, don't agree with. But make sure you like, share, subscribe, and make sure you continue to support this channel and all our podcasts on the RMG network. So without further ado, I just want to turn back now to Jason and begin where we began the last time by having him introduce himself and talk about recent events that's been going on in his life. And we'll just move from there as we continue this interview here on Spirit Talk. So Jason, what was 2020 like for you? I mean, for the most part, you know all the craziness that took place in our world, but on a personal level, what were your experiences?
Wow. That was, well, I haven't seen you in months, so glad to see you in good spirits, and we're all good, I guess. 2020 was all right. Besides COVID or whatever, for the most part, it didn't change my schedule at what I was doing. Pretty much made it more easy, to be honest. And no fear, no worrying. Just taking care of what I need to take care of, and made stuff a little bit more easier for me when it comes to business, that is. But yeah, it was all right. No complaints. I don't want to sound like I have no empathy for those who, for lack of a better term, got caught in the struggle, and people passed away. My uncle in England passed away, I guess because of it. He died in a hospital. And then my aunt, I want to say a month or two later, she passed away as well. So other than that, yeah, things was all right. We all got to go.
Speaking of which, let's begin there. Seeing, of course, as how Spirit Talk with the Word Master is all about spirit. What was your spiritual condition like all of last year? I know for many people, we talked about this off air, but for many people, the true colors came through, as it were. And I mean, religious people, by the way, you know, they say, oh, that they're the best Christians in the world, but when COVID came, they were running around like chickens, but with their heads cut off. They didn't know what to do. All that religious talk went out the window because now they were scared for their lives. What was your experience like in 2020?
Okay. I'm going to be candid. I'll say this. I've done some things that prepared me for COVID, if you will. or being confined at a house or whatever. So when it went down, someone that I know contacted me and said that it was airborne before the news decided to let it out that it was airborne, that it can, travel in the air. I hate to sound redundant, but yeah, there it is. But it prepared me. I was always prepared to keep to myself and stay confined in the area. I've done it for a while. It wasn't, I didn't volunteer for that one, but it prepared me for the COVID. So, for lack of a better term, it was second nature, if you will. Wasn't no big deal.
Okay. I guess what I'm really asking is, how did your mind, your spirit, adjust to what was termed the new normal?
You know what? Okay, I see where you're going. It wasn't a new normal, if you're talking spirit. I think what's going on is, as you said, that certain people came off their compass, if you will. They got a little scared and whatever that may be. I didn't take any of it seriously. I mean, don't get me wrong. I took in the information. I used certain knowledge that was presented to me, how I could protect myself, but I didn't worry. And as far as my spiritual conviction of how I was moving, to me, it was not the new normal per se. It was just another day. I did what I normally do, which is read, meditate, look up information, a conference call here and there. And if I needed to go somewhere, I just jumped in the car and did what I had to do. But spiritually, I wasn't affected. In fact, I found myself encouraging people, not to sound arrogant, like, oh my God, I wasn't bothered, blah, blah. I don't want to come off like that, but it was no big deal.
Come off like that at all. Wink, wink.
No, I didn't. No, I wasn't. No, wink, wink. Okay, fine. But certain people, if you're known for a certain thing, whether it is Seventh-day Adventist or whatever it is, and people feel like, okay, let me call Vernon. Let me see what he has to say about it, because they're looking at you like, he may have an answer, or he doesn't let things bother him. So you're gonna get those calls, or when people see you in the street, they want to talk or get some advice, blase, blase. And that's what I was doing. But I didn't, if you will, looking like I'm a solid statue or anything like that. Some things just don't bother me. You would think certain things would bother me, like something small may bother me. It depends on what that situation is. But where I'm at right now in my head, that doesn't even affect me. Small things don't bother me anymore. So the COVID situation was, I hate to say it, man, it was too easy. It didn't cause me to waver or to have fear or anything like that. I think what happened to people, Vernon, is put it like this. This is what it is. Well, this is what I think it is. It wasn't a COVID that bothered people. It was staying home and not able to get access to money, or worried about their jobs, or, okay, do I leave, do I babysit, or do I go to work? That's what really was bothering people. It wasn't really the COVID per se. But then that's where your spiritual walk would come in, I guess.
Speaking of spiritual walk, now, give me your opinion on this. Let me start this thing. For those of you who know Jason, you know that he's not a church person, anything like that. But speaking of a church person, I was talking to someone earlier, and they said at the start of 19, you know those pictures that you see people like going to Walmart in like hazmat suits, pretty much? They said that they were like that in the beginning, dressed up, and then after a while, because of information, all of that began to go. So, you mean to tell me, Jason, that you didn't have your gas mask on and stuff like that?
No, but you see, you said something. You said information. You would worry if you had no knowledge. If you have knowledge, that trumps fear. People are fear because they lack information and they don't have understanding. Now, your spiritual walk I think it says faith without work is dead. So you would apply your knowledge along with your faith and move forward. But no, I had matter of fact, the real mask that I needed to get, you can even get those. In fact, I tried to sell them actually with a certain company to broker a deal. But then I started finding out that I think it's China or Japan. I don't want to say. So let's just say a country is making false masks, making millions. So no, I just had a regular mask, and I'm finding out that doesn't really help it. So it is what it is.
You know what, Jason, come at me, Japan, China, wherever you are. I was looking at a mask I got the other day, and I was saying, you know what, let me check to see where these stuff come from, because I know that people here in America are manufacturing masks. Come to find out that these masks were brought over here in May of last year. I checked the date, and I was like, May 2020. But I thought these people had problems with China. How are they importing Chinese masks? You know, and I really got suspicious about this whole thing. And like you said, that's one of the things that gave me power. The fact that there was knowledge. And he said something about the scriptures, and the scripture that came to my mind was where it says that my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. And I know a lot of people who are destroyed for lack of knowledge. And that segues into our next segment. But we're going to talk about that right after we come back from this break here on Spirit Talk with the Word Master. Welcome back to Spirit Talk with the Word Master. This is the Word Master, and I'm in the studio with my friend Jason. You remember him from last time when we did part one of this topic. Now, before we went to break, we talked about, we segued into actually relationships and how knowledge or lack of knowledge destroys people. And I want to ask you a question based on, again, 2020. Do you think a lot of marriages were destroyed because of COVID-19? Let me give you an example of what I was thinking. Someone said to me the other day, in terms of that, relationship that, last year a lot of people really got to know the other person, what they were like, what they weren't like, and did I marry you? When did you do that? All of a sudden you started, and you can fill in a blank, listeners, whole lot of different things that we didn't know about each other, all because COVID-19 happened and we were forced to be in the same house 24/7, practically with the same person. So, do you think, and could be opinion, could be research, could be whatever, but do you think that there was a lot of broken relationships because of COVID-19 and not a lot of people coming together as they should? Look at all.
Okay. It was probably already broken. It's just that, as you said, they are spending time together and they realized that it was destroyed because you're doing 8 hours or 9 hours a day and you come back home, and COVID now says no, you're going to do 9 hours, 8 hours together. So if anything, well, they didn't really they didn't do the statistics, if you will. There's a lot of people getting hurt during COVID, a lot of people getting murdered, abused, beat up, children getting abused, beat up. I predict maybe situations will be messed up because of this COVID thing, because, the parents now have, or a parent has to do online courses. So a lot of things got messed up. But relationship wise, I think that you need to have something with yourself. And if anything, COVID, hopefully it caused people to have a relationship with themselves or be true to themselves and start figuring out certain things. Maybe I shouldn't spend this year or today, if you will. Or maybe I should slow down on what I'm trying to apply to get something in return. Now, me, for instance, I did some things that gave me a decent return and helped me set up what I'm setting up for the following years, because entertainment has drastically changed. But for the most part, it's been very, I don't want to sound arrogant, it's been very easy, to say the least. It's been very easy. To the relationship part again, there'll be a lot of divorces, I think. And I think that people are now realizing the partners that they chose or got involved with, it wasn't for love, because jobs have been affected, income has been affected. From what I'm hearing, there's going to be a lot of foreclosures going on. And people are going to separate because there's no more materials that they can acquiesce. So, I don't know. I think that it's definitely changed how you get involved with somebody. Somebody be like, hey, you know, I like you. What's your credit score? I don't know. Yeah.
So basically what I'm hearing is that there are not a lot of COVID babies out there. That's what you're saying?
There's a lot of babies. There's babies that were made. I didn't make anything, but I'm grateful for that. But Vernon, the residue from this has yet to be seen, and this 21 is going to be extremely interesting. How things turn out. Now, will it bring people closer to their God or whatever they think God is? Yeah, I think so. I think people are going to be really digging in, because you need something to occupy your mind or to get you thinking a certain way, because they have you thinking in fear. So you have to find something that's back that. So I think a lot of people are going to be digging in their Bibles, their Qurans, their Gitas, their meditation mats. They're going to know what they have to do.
Okay, so we delved into the religion, we delved into the relationship. Let us look a little bit at some rules. Okay, so in 2020, it was a banged up year, no lie. Okay, so in your opinion, what are some of the things that people could have done to make it through 2020?
Nothing, because look, they had the Super Bowl, right? Now they knew, the powers that be knew that this COVID was already here, but they had to make the billions on the Super Bowl. But now the citizen wasn't prepared. They didn't, even, people had those that had access, they had put stock options and made some crazy money off that. I know a person that was opening up a club and a restaurant that just tanked away. You just couldn't prepare for it. You didn't, one day you were chilling, the next day, COVID's here. Stay inside your house. Oh, by the way, you're not going to work now. Now, with the AI, artificial intelligence, a lot of jobs won't be back. There's going to be a lot of people that's not going to have jobs that are going to be waiting on stimulus. One of my partners that works at Senior Satellite Radio, they're doing all their stuff at the house, or at their home, excuse me. So Sirius is looking at, wait a minute. From what I'm hearing, they had a $1 billion surplus where they could buy stuff. They bought Pandora, they bought that. I think they're working on iHeart to get all of it. They don't have to rent office space like they were before because the workers are at home. So if you are an essential worker or you're in a business where you're needed, then yeah, they'll supply your equipment for home. But other than that, you're not needed. You're out of there. And let's not forget artificial intelligence. These jobs are going to... Matter of fact, to be honest, 80% of America's jobs can be automated. They're just trying to figure out how to bring it in. And if anything, COVID speed up their plans, if you ask me.
So let me take a shot at asking it this way. What could people have done, say in hindsight, to make sure that they survive? And I mean, in all the areas that we covered, spiritually, economically, relationship-wise, what are some of the things that people could have done, as they call it, in hindsight, to prepare for 2020?
Well, you can't hindsight it. I mean, that's like saying, let's say I'm going out of town and somebody picks me up, and I say, man, look at all these leaves. These are beautiful leaves. And the guy says, man, you should have been here last week. And if you was here last week, you would have saw all those wonderful, wonderful colors of these leaves. And you can't do last week. So the hindsight stuff, not to knock your question, I don't see how they could have done anything. I mean, if you're living in the now, what can they do? Now, what can they do for 21 now?
Hold on. And
Okay.
Don't worry, I agree. I said the same thing too, because you plan for the future, say 5-10 years down. You say, well, at such a time, I'm going to get me a college degree. I'm going to get me a car. I'm going to get me a house. I'm going to have kids. 2020 really did a number on us, like I said. It's like everything that you thought you knew, you could just throw it out the window. The blueprints, the plans, all of that. 2020 was not that year. I mean, every aspect, every facet of society took a hit. If you're not one of the super rich, then you're good. But the thing is, certain things you just can't plan for. And that is one of the reasons why I designed this program, because it shows you that spiritually, where you're at, as Jason said earlier, in your headspace, you're able to survive anything. Throw you in a jungle, throw you in a burning building, throw you wherever. If you're good in your headspace, you're able to make it through. And no matter what gets thrown at you, you become an overcomer. Think about the kids in, well, I don't want to say Africa, we say Africa so many times, but third world countries and areas where they don't eat like they do in America. Do you think that they're going through some of the issues that we are? No, of course not. But yeah, they have their own things that they're dealing with. And when it comes to them worshiping the God that they worship, they put us to shame. Listeners, they put us to shame. Even though we say, oh man, I could never live there. But not only do they live there, they thrive there. And that happens if you're in a good headspace. So yes, 2020 did throw us for a loop. But if you are of the conviction that nothing and no one could steer you off your path, then you were good. Let's take one more break, and then we'll come in and address what was just mentioned, because we want to look forward into 2021 with the rules, the relationships, and, of course, the religion. back with our last segment here on Spirit Talk with the Word Master. This is the Word Master, and in the studio with me is my friend Jason. You remember him from last time where we did a bang-up interview, and today we're at it again. But this time we're about to go deeper in this last segment. So last time, Jason, you told us about how you build a relationship work, and just refresh the audience a little bit on how you take relationships. What, in fact, what you just told me about you and women that you are not in a relationship with. You start from there.
Wow. Okay. That's it's a Tyson uppercut.
As always.
Let me say it like this. First, have a relationship with yourself. I always believe in that. Or know that to be true. Let me rephrase that. Know that to be true. Why do you want to be involved with a person? I was talking to somebody about that, I think months back online. Like, why do you want to get involved with this individual? What is it that you want to bring to them? And most of the time when people get involved, it's something they're trying to get out of it. It's not usually what they want to bring. And if you're not trying to enhance the person, not that the person should need it, but if in your mind you're not trying to bring a blessing to the person as far as your presence, you should reconsider what you're doing. You ever heard people? You hear people say, "I need somebody to make me happy." That's a big weight you're putting on somebody's shoulders. Like, how are they supposed to make you happy? That's something that you control. You control how you feel. You control what you think of the individual. Or better yet, what you think of yourself. So don't put that on the individual. Have yourself intact before you even venture out dealing with people. You know, can you accept them for who they are? Whatever that is, can you accept it? And go from there.
I know you said about having a relationship with yourself. So, well, first of all, there are questions to ask about what's your views, what's your rules, as it were, about physical contact with a female that's not family member.
Oh boy. Okay. I had a teacher, and like I said, he sat me down 15 years and was teaching me. One day, his wife drove up, and I waved at her, and she didn't wave back. And at that time, I was very emotionally weak. And I said to him, "You know, I waved at your wife. Why didn't you speak to me or whatever?" And he looked at me and he says, "Is that important that she speaks to you?" And I said, kind of. I mean, before I could continue, he said, "Do you provide for her?" I said, "No." "Do you sleep with her?" I said, "No." "What is it that you need from her?" And I said, "Nothing, sir." And he said, "Never touch what is not yours and expect anything from anybody." And that's not saying that if you have the woman, she belongs to you. No. But there's a certain level how you're supposed to conduct and operate when you're dealing with them. And I never forgot that, because the way he broke it down and I looked at it, it made sense. To me, it made sense. And I said, that's what I'm going to practice. If you're not my woman, I'm not going to touch you. Now, some people will be like, "Oh, man, that's extreme. You're insane with that." Okay. You may think it's insane, or you may think it's strange. But for me, I operate on a certain level. And if I'm touching you, believe you me, it's something about you that I'm really into, and I'm dealing with you. And I'm okay the way I operate. I don't have issues. There's nobody saying he did this to me or he spoke to me a certain way. Even, for instance, I went to go see somebody, and he wasn't home. His wife was home, and she said, "You can wait." I said, "No, I'll come back." Now that's common sense. People know that. If you're not
Right.
That's common sense. But that's how I operate. I don't. If you're not my woman, I'm not touching you. I may have a certain discussion with you, but it's always on a platonic level. I'm not. I think I've been raised to be a monk.
Okay, so you mentioned it, so you went there. I wasn't about to touch it. I felt kind of, but you went there. So we talked about how your views on relationships are, but isn't there something that's deep down within you that says, you know what? Look at how 2020 shaped out. I bet if I was in a relationship long term, say I was married, that I'd be better off. Isn't there something that's inside you that nags you that says, I need to be a +1 or I need to have a +1? Do you ever see yourself settling down with that quote unquote right one?
Okay. That question has many answers. Okay. With what I'm doing now, what I've been working on, having somebody that can understand that, and usually they don't, it would have been a hindrance and an aggravation, because sometimes I have to leave and I'm gone for maybe a week or two, and then I come back, or I'm up 3-4 in the morning, or I'm doing a conference and I don't have time to do other things, and I don't have a 9 to 5, so the individual is going to be looking, okay, well, how we're going to do this, how we're going to pay that. And I've been this way for 17 years, 18 years. I don't like having a job. Now I don't know people that have jobs, so I'm not doing that. But I just, how can I put it? I think I have enough intelligence where I can feed myself. And I'm not saying that a person that has a job is not intelligent. I'm not saying that. Here's a story. All right, my teacher. Years back, when I didn't have this way of thinking, I was looking for a job and I couldn't get a job for nothing. And he said two things to me. One thing he said was, maybe you're not supposed to have a job. Did you ever think about that? At the time, I thought I needed a job. And he said, listen, go to Winn-Dixie, go down an aisle, and pick up some toothpicks. And I did it, but I didn't do it. He was explaining what I need to do.
Gotcha.
And he said to me, Jason, there is somebody making millions of dollars off wood chips. Certainly your brain can generate an idea to make money. And I did go to Winn-Dixie, and I held the toothpicks in my hand, and I said to myself, damn, I'm not getting a job. I have to figure a way to get this money, and so one of my skills that I have is networking with people, and I read people very well. Well, when it comes to business, I read people very well. I was in a line of work that forced me to read you very quickly.
We may talk about that on part 3, guys. Stay tuned.
I'm not going there. But it required me to read you quickly, or I won't be doing this interview.
Yeah, you kind of understand, right?
But Is there a right one? Sure, there's plenty of right ones out there. Are you kidding me? I'm telling you, man, people always, there's nobody out there for me. There's no right one out there for me. No. It's right situations. Let's say there's another World Trade Center. The economy is tanked. The electricity is off. And you run into somebody that has a skill set, or you run into somebody that has a spiritual vibration about themselves, and you get involved with her, or she gets involved with the gentleman. Well, it's the right situation. There's no right person for me out there. I think that's insane. If anything, you have to be right. You're looking for somebody right, but you never say, I have to be right. We usually don't do that. You have to look at yourself. What's wrong with you? Why are you attracting the nonsense? Are you nonsense? That's something that I had to look at myself. Like, is there something wrong with me? And for the most part, I would say yes. But one thing I like to do is I don't want the person to worry that they're not enough. I think that happens in relationships. Oh my God, am I enough for this person? Is this person gonna go out there and look here and look here? No, I don't. I like for them to feel, hey, relax, it's all good. I'm with you for a reason. And I'm not saying that they're supposed to be like, oh wow, Jason is with me. Oh, the earth doesn't need to rotate. This is a great thing. But no, if I'm involved with you, something about me, because I'm in an industry besides before COVID. I'm in an industry where there are some fine women, and I could care less. I walk past them like they're not there. So there's that.
So that's a yes or no on thinking that you might settle down someday.
Really? Okay. Man, was it a long diatribe of nothing? Okay. No, I will never settle down, but I will settle.
I like that. Okay, guys, so we're about to go into the home stretch, and you know what? 2021, it's a new year, it's a new beginning, and right now, I'm going to give Jason just a few minutes to give his understanding, his take on what you can do, say, think, what you can work on to make it through 2021. Jason.
Okay, 2021. This is what I suggest. Everybody do this. And if you don't want to, that's okay. But it works for me. Before you're about to go to sleep, take a picture or visualize something that you want to happen. And some of you probably, or majority of you have heard this. Look at it, whether there's a picture or a picture in your mind, and visualize what you want with the feeling that it's already there. I always tell people, words are not power. It's how you feel that activates the power. So feel like you have whatever it is you want, visualize it before you go to sleep, and it should show up. Well, it works for me. That's what I would suggest you do 2021, and be patient with people, because there's a lot going on with people, and if not, you could rub somebody the wrong way and they could rub you out, if you will, if you know what I mean. So you're gonna have to use patience and live what you say is true. I don't care what religion is or what your system is. If whatever it is, live it. Stop talking, live it.
Well, there you go, friends. And that's all we have time for here on Spirit Talk with the Word Master. But I definitely want to encourage you, friends, that, like I said earlier, keep your mind focused. And as you just heard, it's a nightly process. It works. Believe me, friends, it works. Make sure that as you go through 2021, that you stay positive. As you often hear me say, be part of the solution, not the problem. Have a very blessed, productive 2021. Thank you so much, Jason, for coming in. And
you're welcome.
Listeners, I just want to encourage you as you continue that this year is going to be the year that makes up for 2020. And it can happen if you make it happen. This has been the Word Master with Spirit Talk with the Word Master. Have a great day.
Shop RMG Designs with hundreds of products to choose from. There's sure to be something for your specific needs. Click on the link in the description to start shopping.